And joining us now on the phone is Mr. Michael Brette. He's the CEO of a company called VentureNet Capital Incorporated. Michael, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Don.
Well, tell us what VentureNet Capital does, Michael.
We advise public companies and private companies on raising capital from our network of investment banks, broker-dealers, family offices, and private placement agents, mainly in New York, but also here in California.
Well, that's one of the biggest challenges of these small public companies is raising capital, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and a lot of them, get stuck in that toxic financing, of convertible debt and convertible preferred stock with no floor. So a lot of them, get, in that trap, and it's a death spiral for the company. Our clients have raised over $65 million to date, and we've got another $35 million in processing right now for funding in a combination public and private companies. And our financing is not toxic. It doesn't have convertible debt involved with it. So we've got some extremely trustworthy investment banks and brokers that we work with to finance companies because they believe in the company's fundamentals.
Well, when you talk with a company for the first time, what kind of advice do you give them?
Well, first I find out, what they're trying to accomplish by being a publicly traded company. The only reason to go public is to raise capital because it's so expensive to go public and to stay public. So I first want to find out, why they went public. And then I get into the mechanics of their company, their fundamentals, if they've got intellectual property, something that would attract investment capital. And then the next question is, how much capital do you need? And what's the use of proceeds? How are you going to use the capital to grow shareholder value and take the company to the next level?
Well, it's kind of interesting because you and I talk to CEOs of public companies just about every day, several times a day, and these poor guys are getting phone calls left and right from people offering them money, and as you say, in many cases that money is toxic.
That's true, and that's why our program, we take our clients to meetings. We introduce our clients to face-to-face meetings with investment banks, family offices, broker-dealers, and placement agents. We don't do everything over the phone or over the internet. I know most people today, they think they can just send an email and try to raise money. Investors want to see the management team. They want to know who they are, where they're going, and how they're going to get there. And the only way to accomplish those steps is to have a face-to-face meeting where the investors can ask questions of the client can ask questions to the investors, find out the mechanism, the structure, and make sure it's a win situation for both parties. There's no serious investor is going to invest $2 million or more over the internet without having met the client, without having met the management team, to make sure the management team has the expertise. And that's why a lot of these small cap companies, you see it all the time when they put out a press release that they signed a $10 million or a $60 million equity line of credit over a 3-year period. It just doesn't happen. It's not real. And that's why we take the extra steps of introducing our clients, again, whether they're public or private, we take them and introduce them. We travel with them. We arrange these meetings so that they can get firsthand knowledge of how the structure and the financing is going to work.
Once again, VentureNet Capital Incorporated, Mr. Michael Brette. Mike, we're out of time, but how can people get in touch with you?
They can call me at 951-236-8473, or they can email me at MikeBrette, BRETTE, @gmail.com. That's MikeBrette @gmail.com, and I'm on LinkedIn also.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Okay, thanks, Don.